Hello everyone, welcome to Chasing Adventures. Today I wanted to make a quick follow-up video of how to leave your hatch open without any tools and talk about the importance of having a few simple essential tools in the car at all times, because there's nothing scarier than being stranded in the middle of nowhere without any cell signal. So on that previous video, I mentioned that I had to jumpstart my car because apparently if you leave your Subaru's hatch open for a prolonged time, it'll drain out the battery. And if you didn't see that video, you could click the link up here, or I'll leave it in the video description so you can view it after this video. Anyways, and I felt like I left out an important message in that video, and that is to have some of these must-have tools in the car at all times. Because can you imagine getting stranded in the middle of nowhere without cell signal simply because of a dead battery? I mean, you have to wait for someone to pass by, and hopefully they're not a serial killer, and who knows how long that's gonna take. And even if you have a jumper cable, it's quite meaningless if there's no other cars around you to connect to. So yeah, it's a scary thought being stranded, especially these days. Now, I've had this battery jump starter for, my Tacoma days, so back in 2014. So wow, it's already been 10 years. Time really flies. So I guess this jump starter has been in all my different cars for over a decade. And I jump started my Tacoma, my Prius, my friends' cars, and the Subaru quite a bit within the time I had this. And surprisingly, having a dead battery happens quite often simply because you left your headlights on, or in my case, as I mentioned earlier, I can't put the hatch open. And I don't understand why car manufacturers don't simply put a cutoff switch to the battery, so if it goes below certain voltage, it'll shut off everything off, and we'll never have this issue having a dead battery. I mean, is it that hard to do? I'm sure there's other safety reasons, but it would be nice. And during the time I had this jump starter, I think I only charged it twice or maybe 3 times, because it's one of those things where you leave it and forget it. And the last time I checked the battery status was 2021 before going on a long road trip, and it still shows 75% battery life remaining. And last few times I used it was on my Subaru, and it has saved my butt quite a few times. So yeah, it's been great thus far. But it is showing its age as it's not able to hold charge like it used to, and the middle of the jump starter is kind of bulging out a little, and that means the battery is swollen. And this could be at a high risk as there are too much current inside the battery cells, which causes buildup of heat and gas, and potentially it could explode one day. Not very likely, but it can. So I was looking into replacing my jump starter, and YesPer contacted me and asked me to review their products, so timing couldn't be any better. And they let me choose which jump starter I wanted to review, so I picked these two, and we'll talk about the Armor Pro 2 first. Now, YesPer has a lot of different models to choose from, but I picked the biggest one because, well, for one, for most people, you probably don't ever need to recharge the jump starter because it has a large battery capacity, and two, it has a 15-volt DC out and a USB out up to 100 watts. So I could use this as a power station in a pinch when I'm out here camping to run my small appliances or an air compressor. Now, let me quickly talk about the specs. It has a 300 watt-hour battery, which is larger than some of my power stations, and peak current of 3000 amps, so you could jumpstart up to 9.5 liter gas engine or 7.5 liter diesel engine, which is more than enough for most cars on the road. And a 100 watt USB-C in and out, 2 USB output up to 12 volts, and it has a big display showing the current battery status, the wattage being used or being charged, a ready display to let you know it's ready to start your vehicle, X display to let you know the poles of the battery clips are reversed, a low temperature warning display, and if you press and hold the power and boost buttons simultaneously for 2 to 3 seconds, it'll go into low current mode to charge things like wireless headphones, smartwatches, and other devices that needs low current, so that the jump starter won't shut off during middle of charging your small devices. And to revert to regular mode, press the power button and boost button again. And if you press and hold the power button, it'll turn on the flashlight. The flashlight emits white diffuse light and has a SOS and flashing mode. Also, if you get the optional AC inverter that plugs into the DC port, you could use small AC powered appliances while camping or an emergency situation. And since it has 100 watt input, you could charge the jump starter from 0 to 100% in just 3 hours. So it has plenty of useful features rather than just being a jump starter. but it is pretty big and heavy. Overall dimensions are 9.5 inches by 4 inches by 4 inches, and it weighs around 5 pounds. And it comes with a carrying strap, a carabiner, a 100-watt DC charging cable with USB plug on the side, USB-C cable, and a battery clamp cable. And it has all the safety features like overcharging, over temperature, over voltage, short circuit, over current, and reverse polarity protection, just to mention a few. And with its large battery capacity, you could jumpstart a car up to 140 times with the fully charged battery. So like I mentioned earlier, if it's only being used as a jump starter, you probably won't need to recharge it ever again until end of its lifespan. But they do recommend checking the status every 3 months and to charge it every 12 months to prevent power shortage. And it has a 5-year standby time. Now, the jump starter is well protected with these hard rubber compounds surrounding it, and it's nice to see all the ports are protected from dust and water with these rubber covers. And it has IP65 waterproof rating. So this is a great jump starter slash power station. Now, the only downside is that it is large and heavy for a jump starter. So you need to think about where you're going to store it in your vehicle. Also, the current price at the time of this recording is $169.99 with $20 discount on Amazon. And at that price, I wish it would have came with the storage bag to house all the wires and the jump starter. I mean, they sell the storage bag separately, but it would have been nice if it was included at that price. But it's not a deal breaker since you're going to get a lot of usage out of this jump starter. And speaking of storing, I would highly recommend storing the jump starter in the cabin of the car, like a glove box or under the seat, because with these new cars with power liftgates or trunks, once the battery is completely drained, it is very difficult to open. Plus, if the cargo area is packed with camping gear, you have to take out everything just to get to the lower storage area if it was stored there. And to use the jump starter, simply plug the battery clamp wire to the jump starter, clamp the red cable to the positive terminal and the black cable to the negative terminal. And once the cables are correctly placed, you'll see ready display. Now, if you don't see the ready display, your battery has drained out completely. In that case, press the boost button and wait until the ready sign is displayed and start your car. So it's pretty simple to do and comes with a 1-year warranty. And if you register the jump starter on their official website, you'll get extra 6 months of service. So that's a total of 18 months of warranty. Now, if you think the Armor Pro 2 is too large to store in your vehicle or don't need all the functions, check out this little guy. This is the Armor Mini. And I think this is the smallest and the lightest jump starter that I've ever seen. And it is small enough to put in your pocket or in the glove box, as the overall dimensions are 3 inches by 6 inches by 1 inch. And it only weighs just under 300 grams, so this is really tiny and light compared to its bigger brother. But don't let the size fool you, because with its 8,000 milliamp hour lithium polymer battery and a 1200 amp peak current, you could jumpstart up to 6-liter gas or 4-liter diesel engine up to 30 times. And just like its big brother, it has all the safety features as well as USB-C and USB-A connectors. But do note that the USB-C is only for charging the jump starter. And it'll charge the battery from 0 to 100% in 3.5 hours. And this is where you plug the clamp cable, and you'll find the boost button along with the correct and reverse light indicator on the clamp. And USB-C cable is also included. On the top, we have the power button with battery status indicator light, and if you hold down the power button, it'll turn on the flashlight. Short press it, it'll toggle through different modes. And up to 12 months of standby time, and comes with a 1-year warranty, or same thing. If you register the jump starter on their website, you'll get extra 6 months of service. So, if you don't need all the functions of its bigger brother Armor Pro 2, or don't travel as much, but still want the peace of mind of having a jump starter, this Armor Mini might be a smarter purchase, because at the time of this recording, it's only $45.99 with 20% off discount on Amazon, making it very affordable. And I'll leave the links to both of these jump starter in the video description, and they have tons of different models to choose from, so check it out for yourself. And if you already have one, do check it periodically for charge status and any deformation with the jump starter. Now, other than the jump starter, I also recommend having a simple tire plug kit. And I got this from Walmart a while ago for like, I think $7 or something. And as you can see, I've used it a few times already, and it has paid for itself, because as long as it's not a gouge or a rip on the sidewall, you could plug the hole fairly quickly. and it's much easier than changing to the spare tire. Or some of these cars these days don't even have a spare tire, like my wife's Prius Prime. But that also means you have to have an air compressor, and luckily her car came with a small air compressor. But these days, there are smaller battery operated air compressor that will be good enough to air 1 or 2 tires, like this Hoto air compressor. And let me tell you, she's a nail magnet, so I already plugged one of her tire on a brand new car with less than 4,000 miles, and I was able to do so in our public parking garage with these simple tools that I already had in my car. And there's also a fix-a-flat aerosol spray can that simply plugs onto the valve stem, but I've never used it, so I don't know how well it works. I mean, I'm sure it works, that's why they sell it, but how well is the question. And if you guys have used it before, please let us know in the comment section. Also, having a simple hand tools like a screwdriver and small wrench or ratchet set is a good idea too. So, I highly recommend having these essential tools or items in your vehicle at all times so you could fix simple issues by yourself and not have to depend on a stranger, and get you back on the road as quickly as you can. And if you think I left out any other important tools, please let us know in the comment section below. So thank you YesPer for providing these great products for me to review. And I think I'll leave the Armor Mini in my wife's car and the Armor Pro 2 in my car, and also use it as a power station when I'm out here camping. And if I run into any issues with the jump starter, I'll update you guys in the video description. And that's all I have for you guys today. And if this video was informative, please don't forget to like and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And until next time, keep chasing adventures, and I'll see you all on my next video.